You have to change fraction to decimal, then we change decimal to fraction, and rounding off decimals, as well as doing basic calculations with decimals. So first of all, a fraction. What is a decimal? It's a fraction, the denominator. The denominator is the power of 10. Okay, fraction whose denominator is the power of 10 and whose numerator is expressed by figures placed to the right of a decimal point. So here are a few examples of decimals. 0.1, which is equivalent to 1 upon 10, 0.03, which is equivalent to 3 upon 100, and 0.002, which is equivalent to 2 upon 1,000. How do we change fractions to decimal? You have a very powerful tool in front of you, which is a calculator. Make use of the calculator. Use the division key on your calculator to change fraction to decimal. So example is 3 over 5. What is 3/5? That is 3 divided by 5. That is equal to 0.6. So changing fraction to decimal, as funny as it seems, yes, you are going to use the division sign on your calculator to change fraction to decimal. A few examples here. You can also use your calculator. 1 divided by 10 is 0.1. 1 divided by 8 is 0.125. And here is a negative 4 over 3. Negative 4 divided by 3, that is negative 1.33. Any question about changing fractions to decimals? Thank you. Now, how do we change decimal back to fractions? There's a keynote that I've given here, the number of zeros in the denominator. All right, the number of zeros in the denominator depends on the number of decimal places after that point. Okay, so the number of zeros is dependent on the number of decimal places after the point. Say for instance 0.3, how many numbers are there after the point? There's just one. That's right. So it's 3 divided by 10. So 0.3 is equal to 3 divided by 10. Check out the next one, 0.23. There are, yes, 2 decimal places. So you should have 2 zeros after the point. Sorry, 2 zeros in the denominator. So 0.23, that's equivalent to 23 upon 100. And the last one, 0.123. 0.123, that's equivalent to 123 upon 1,000. Any question about changing decimals to fractions? Okay, so rounding off decimals, I know that most of you are familiar with this, rounding off decimals. This is just a key idea that we normally use when rounding off decimals. First, we look for what is the rounding digit, and it says that if the digit is less than 5, we usually don't change the number. Okay, we do not change the number, but if the digit is greater than 5, we usually add 1 to the rounding digit. So I know that in sentence it doesn't really make sense, but let's look at this one here. The very simple example is 15 divided by 46, and the question says to round it off to how many? 2 decimal places. Okay, so if we count 2 decimal places, that's 1, 2. But this value will depend on the next number after 2. Okay, so the next number after 2, this is usually known as the reference digit. Since the reference digit is 6, which is more than 5, what do? We add 1 to the previous number. So this is 0.33. Is that clear? So rounding off the values to 2 decimal places is 0.33. Instead of 0.32, it's 0.33, mainly because the reference value or the next number is more than 5. Another example is 1.36 divided by 6, rounded off to 3 decimal places. Let's highlight after the decimal point. These are the numbers that we'll be looking at, but the next number will depend whether we add whether we add 1 or it will remain as 6. Since the next number is 6 and that is more than 5, we add 1 to the previous value, so we get 0.227. Any questions? So to answer this question for our tutorial number 1, what is a decimal, and give examples, you'll find this solution. The solution to this, you will find that in our PowerPoint presentation. The next one is this. We have a word problem that involves decimals. Okay, this is a word problem that involves decimals. I know until now I think we don't have enough time, but next week, can you please answer these questions? Question number 2 all the way to question number 6. Right, question 2 to number 6. Where will you find that? You'll find those questions on Moodle. Try and answer those questions on Moodle. Next week, I will put up the solution for week 2 tutorial. I hope that's fine with you. Is there anything else that you want me to discuss? So basically what we wanted to do this week was discuss topic 1 and topic 2, which we have done. And next week we'll move on to topic 3, 4, and topic 5. Are there any questions with regards to what we've done today? Okay, so for next week, you will see that this is week 1, and that's what we've done so far. That was last week's work. So starting next week, then you'll see that I'll upload more, we'll add more topics into Moodle as the weeks go by. Okay, so we've covered Unit 1 and Unit 2. I want you to have a look at these questions again, and by the end of this week, Once you've completed the questions, then I'm going to upload the solution to the tutorial questions. I'll try and put them here, okay, under the tutorial questions so that you're able to answer those. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Feel free to send us an email if you have any questions. Okay, so take care, and I'll meet you again next week at 1 o'clock. Thank you.